Have you ever heard a story about a belief so powerful it could literally move mountains? Well, today we're diving into the story of one man whose private faith led him to create a 37-foot-tall stone titan. It's an incredible story about vision, belief, and what it takes to build a truly monumental legacy. So let's start with a big question. What actually drives someone to create something massive, something that will outlast them? Is it just ambition, a desire to be remembered, or is it maybe something else entirely, something deeper, like a powerful personal belief? For the man at the heart of our story, Vasudeva Swamy, the answer was a divine calling. His belief is what led to, well, to this. What you're looking at is a massive temple complex, a place of worship for thousands. But this incredible structure didn't start with blueprints or investors. It all started with a simple promise. So to really understand how this all happened, we've got to go back to the beginning. Way before any of the visions or the giant temples, there was just an ordinary guy with a simple but deeply held daily devotion. I mean, take a look at his early life here. It seems pretty normal, right? Born in 1954, got an education, worked a regular job at a private company, got married to his wife, Lakshmi. On the surface, it's a life that looks like a lot of others. But underneath all that, an incredible faith was quietly growing. And here's where you start to see it. He was a devout follower of the deity Hanuman, and he had this daily ritual. Every single day, before starting his work, he would write Sri Rama Jayam, which means victory to Lord Rama. Think about that. It's not some grand public display. It's a quiet, personal, but absolutely unwavering commitment. That's real belief. But then, like in so many of these stories, his life hit a rough patch. He faced some serious hardships. And it was right in the middle of that struggle that Swamy felt his spiritual side getting stronger, almost pulling him in a totally new direction. He felt like a divine power was actually starting to work through him. So that feeling led him to make a huge decision. He decided to undertake this intense spiritual vow, a 41-day meditation that would, it would change absolutely everything for him. 41 days. Just let that sink in for a moment. For 41 straight days, he committed himself to a deep, meditative practice. And his entire focus was on that same phrase he wrote every morning, Sri Rama Jayam. This wasn't just casual prayer. This was an all-in, all-consuming spiritual quest. And the physical side of this was, it was extreme. He was living on almost nothing, just 2 glasses of sacred water during the day and a little bit of fruit at night. The whole idea was to purify his body and just laser focus his mind on his one spiritual goal. And then it happened. Right in the middle of it all, on the 21st night, something incredible took place. While he was meditating, Swamy says a life-sized vision of Hanuman just appeared right there in front of him. The very same deity he'd been worshiping his whole life was, as he believed it, standing right there. But it wasn't just seeing the vision, it was the message he heard. The deity told him that his devotion had been accepted, and that from that moment on, Hanuman would actually reside inside his mind and give him the power to help other people. This is the absolute turning point. His belief was no longer just his own private thing. It was about to become a very public mission. And then, just a couple of days later, as if on cue, his son comes home and brings with him this small statue of Hanuman, just out of the blue. For Swamy, this was it. This was the sign. That powerful vision now had a physical object to anchor it, and he knew his life's work was about to start. So his new mission starts taking shape pretty much right away. And, what's really interesting is that his first task wasn't about building something brand new, but about bringing something old and forgotten back to life. Okay, so get this. Years before any of this, an elder had actually prophesied that Swamy would one day rebuild a ruined family temple. And now, right after his vision, Swamy said that Hanuman confirmed it, telling him he had to go and restore the nearby temple of Rajagopala Perumal, which was completely in ruins. And this is where you really start to see the power of his conviction. Swamy didn't have the money to do this himself, but his belief, it was contagious. He went out to the local community, told them his story, and they rallied around him. Together, they raised all the funds needed to completely rebuild the temple, turning it from a pile of rubble back into a sacred space. But you see, that first temple, that was just the warm-up act. With that task complete, the divine commands didn't just continue, they got bigger, a lot bigger. So in 2007, during a festival, Swami announces a brand new, much grander mission he says came from Hanuman. He was told to build a representation of Hanuman's Viswarupa avatar, his cosmic form, basically the god's ultimate universe-sized version. And along with that massive command came a critical promise: I will arrange everything for you. And the scale of this thing was just staggering. The command was to create a statue of Hanuman that stood 37 feet tall. That's like a 3 or 4 story building made of solid stone. An undertaking that would take a ton of resources, and even more than that, just unshakable faith. In this comparison says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got that small icon that started everything after his vision, and on the right, the final result. You're literally looking at the physical journey of his belief, from a small private devotion to a massive public declaration in stone. The logistics of making this happen were just as huge as the vision itself. But just as the promise said, everything started falling into place. First, they found a single, perfect 41-foot block of stone. Then, a team of sculptors spent an entire year carving it. And finally, they had to move this finished giant on a specialized 54-wheel truck, inching it slowly toward its final home. And when it finally arrived, the new temple complex was given its official grand title. It's a mouthful, but it's important. Taneyothi Rama Pattabhisheka Sanjeevana Anjaneyar. It's a name that was said to be divinely commanded, a name to honor all the deities and really solidify the sacred purpose of the place. And this is the culmination of it all. What started as a private vow during a tough time in his life, what started as a vision in the middle of the night, was now a towering physical reality. It's a testament in solid rock to one man's incredible belief, and now it serves as a spiritual home for thousands and thousands of people. Which brings us right back to that question we started with. The story of Vasudeva Swami seems to suggest that the greatest, most enduring things aren't always built with money or blueprints. Sometimes they're built out of a belief that's so powerful, it can inspire a whole community, and yes, literally move mountains of stone. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is the true source of that kind of monumental creation? All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're taking a journey to a place that's, well, a modern marvel of faith. It's a spiritual titan rising up in South India, and it's so significant, it's earned the name South Ayodhya. So, what's its story? Let's find out. Just look at this. I mean, wow. A monumental figure totally serene in prayer. And get this, it's carved from one single massive piece of stone. The scale is just breathtaking, isn't it? This is the heart and soul of the temple we're talking about. And believe me, its story is just as epic as it looks. Okay, so you're probably already wondering, where is this place and how can I see it for myself? Before we dive deeper into all the divine details, let's cover the practical stuff. Getting there is actually a lot easier than you might think. So where exactly is it? It's nestled in a village called Malur, which is right in the heart of the sacred island of Srirangam. To put that on a map for you, it's just a quick 7-kilometer trip from the Kaveri Bridge and only about 5 kilometers from the Srirangam railway station. Super accessible, right? Makes it a perfect stop on any spiritual journey. And getting there is a breeze. You can hop in a share auto or a minibus. If you're driving yourself, no worries. They've got on-site parking. And something that's really important, the temple is accessible for everyone, with dedicated wheelchair access available for devotees. And hey, to make your planning even easier, here's the exact minibus schedule. This shows you the times from the MGR statue in Srirangam to Melur, and then the return trips. As you can see, there's pretty frequent service all day, so you can plan your visit without any guesswork. All right, logistics are covered. So let's get back to that colossal figure we saw earlier. Who is he? Well, you're looking at the magnificent Viswarupa Anjaneyar, the very heart of this temple. 37 feet. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is how tall the main deity is. It just towers over the sanctum, a pure testament to incredible devotion and, frankly, Unbelievable craftsmanship. And here's the kicker. The entire statue was sculpted from a single rock that was originally 41 feet tall. So you have the 37 feet that make up the divine figure of Anjaneer, and the other 4 feet, that's the base. Its unshakable foundation, literally grounding this immense prayer in the earth. Amazing. You know, just getting the stone here was an epic story in itself. It was discovered near a place called Tirmorganpundi, and to move this massive rock, they had to use a specially designed vehicle with 54 wheels. Can you imagine all that just to transport it to its final home in Malur? Now, while Anjaneer is absolutely the star of the show, he's not alone. He actually presides over a whole divine court of other important deities, and each one has their own story and their own shrine. So let's go meet this assembly of gods. First up, we have Thayar, who is the goddess Lakshmi, and this is really interesting. In a pretty unique break from tradition, her shrine is placed directly in front of the main Anjaneer idol. The belief is that this specific placement was the wish of Hanuman himself, which really shows you just how important she is in this sacred space. And her arrival was a huge deal. The idol was welcomed with a sacred ceremony called a Go Puja, which honors 5 holy cows. Only after that was she consecrated in this beautiful, serene coconut grove. A truly special welcome. Okay, moving on, we get to witness a really pivotal moment. This shrine depicts Sri Rama's Pattabhishekam, that's his divine coronation. And you can see it all right here. Lord Rama is on the throne with Sita, and he's accompanied by his devoted brothers, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. And this, right here, is the key to the temple's name. This specific shrine, or Sanithi, is depicting that glorious coronation that happened in Ayodhya. It even has its own towering 51-foot temple tower, or Gopuram, and that is exactly why this whole sacred place is called South Ayodhya. It all connects. Of course, every divine court needs protectors, and here we have 2 fierce ones. On the left, you're looking at Sri Bhadra Narasimhar, the incredibly powerful man-lion avatar. And on the right, that's Sri Chakra Talwar, who is the personification of Vishnu's divine discus. As you can see, both have their own dedicated shrines. And the devotion to these protectors is really powerful and very active. Every second Saturday of the month, they perform a Sri Sudarsana Homam. That's a fire ceremony for Chakra Talwar, for divine protection from any and all harm. Then, on the 4th Saturday, they hold the Sri Lakshmi Narasimha Homam, which is to seek liberation from negative forces and obstacles. Really powerful stuff. So, as you can probably tell by now, this isn't just a static place with grand statues. No, it's a vibrant, living, breathing center of faith. Let's take a look at how that devotion shows up in the day-to-day life of the temple. So, right in front of that giant main deity, there's a smaller, processional idol. This is known as a Murthy, and it's the one that receives daily worship. And it gets decorated in countless different ways. These are called alankarams. And every single one is a unique expression of the devotee's love. For example, you might visit one day and see him adorned with this incredibly intricate garland made entirely of cashews. How beautiful is that? A truly special and edible offering. Then, you could come back on another day, and he might be dressed in this absolutely stunning silver kavacham, which is a body covering. It just gleams under the temple lights. It really goes to show, each decoration tells its own story of devotion. And the spirit of the temple really extends out into the community. It maintains a gosala, which is a cowshed, where sacred cows are lovingly cared for. They even hold special pujas for them every Tuesday and Friday. And the temple isn't done growing either. A grand new temple tank is being built right now at the entrance. It's always evolving. So we've seen the incredible scale, we've met the divine court, and we've gotten a feel for the living, breathing pulse of this place. So what's the big takeaway from South Ayodhya? I think it really comes down to this beautiful balance. South Ayodhya is one of those rare places that perfectly combines something truly awe-inspiring and monumental with these very intimate, very real, living traditions of daily worship. It manages to be both epic and deeply personal at the same time. So as we look one last time at this absolutely incredible form, it kind of leaves you with a question, doesn't it? When you see faith and art expressed on such a grand, magnificent scale, what does that inspire in you?